Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my Let's Play Aion with my Gunslinger. I thought I would put up the rest of my footage that I recorded about a week or so ago. And as I was saying in my last video, we are now we were completing a bunch of Pandemonium quests with the last video, and here we're now in Pandemonium, and we're going to turn things in, and then I hit 25 and I start the quest chain that will eventually bring us to the Abyss, and the whole quest chain with questing and then eventually fighting in the Abyss and things. So that's kind of what's on the slate today. So right now we're just going to go ahead and just turn in some of those quests and things that I had completed last week. I'm just kind of figuring out which teleporter is the right one for me to go to. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go here, so I need that one over here. And so I'm like, alright, teleport over there, then I gotta run the rest of the way to the location. Is it this way? Is it that way? Whoops, no, let me go this way. And then I just kind of skip past, because I think I had about an hour's worth of footage here that I cut it down to just around 17 minutes or so, just because, you know, you guys don't need to see me running everywhere. That's just there's not a lot of fighting action as it is, so just might as well at least get to all the points of everything. So here we are. This is the Book of Oblivion, called Book of Oblivion Mystery, and I just turned in the items to make the potion to make me invulnerable to whatever the curse is on the book. And here I am, I'm trying to find the book. You can't see that I'm doing that because I'm mousing over everything. I'm like, where is that book? I know it's over here somewhere. Oh, there it is. So that's the one thing, is you can't see my mouse as I'm moving it over things and stuff. So alright. So we open the book. It doesn't make us lose our memory. And now we turn it in. So this is kind of like the man with the black overcoat, where the conclusion is a little bit of a letdown. It's sort of anticlimactic. It's like, oh, okay, you're now immune to the book, so now you can pick it up and hand it in, and thank you. And that was pretty much the end of the quest chain. I'm like, okay. Like, they had this whole intriguing thing going on, and then it's just like, oh, yes, that's it. You know, there's no, like, at least a cinematic or some real cool thing about the book. It's just like, oh, okay, thanks for the book. I'll go ahead and remove the curse off of it. Thank you. Alright, so I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. You know, it kind of really pulled me in, and, you know, what's going on with this book? Why did someone do that? You know, then at the end of it, you just hand it in, and they're gonna be like, okay, I'm just gonna take the curse off it, thanks. I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, I'm here. I think I picked this up, and I'm like, okay, is it worth it? Nope, not really. The current hat I'm wearing, you can't see the hat I'm wearing. I have it so that it doesn't display the hat, because the hats in Aion, I think, look kind of funky, and it ruins the hairstyle that you choose for your character, so I'm like, screw that. I have an invisible hat. Alright, so now, this is kind of like the continuation of the man with the black overcoat, and so we're handing in the book that we found.
Welcome, David.
After, you know, traipsing all over everywhere, looking at signs of the man, and it looks like after I turn this one in that it's not necessarily quite the end of this quest chain yet, although, you know, so far it's been somewhat anticlimactic at this point. But then I just hit level 25, and now all of a sudden I've got this whole thing with doing this quest chain for getting into the Abyss, and I'm like, you know what, I think I'm gonna just kind of refocus. I'm a little bit bummed out by some of the ends of these other quests and things, and you know what? Let that man with the black overcoat can wait. I'm gonna go pursue this other stuff first. And I would imagine that my loyal viewers, everyone that happens to be listening to me right now, would probably appreciate me going out and doing some Abyss stuff. So that being said, we will go ahead and, so this is kind of the start of it right here, as I go talk to the head, I think he's the head priest or something, in the temple here, and he kind of gets me started on the quest chain that will eventually lead me to
You honor Aion with your presence.
getting into the abyss. And so I kind of, where I tie things off is I think ultimately
The cataclysm took everything from us. It took away light and warmth. It took away the verdant fields of home. It took our joy and laughter. But we Asmodeans are survivors. The cold, the darkness made us stronger. Our new lands were testing us to see whether we were fit to survive and thrive. Lord Asfel and the other surviving Empyrean lords guided us as we built the great city of Pandemonium and tamed the harsh land of Asmodee. We saw mysterious fissures appear in the sky from time to time. We did not know what the Ilios were until they arrived. They looked as we once did before the cataclysm changed us. They came to conquer, to finish what they started when they destroyed the Tower of Eternity. The Ilios leader Deltrus and his legion scurried from hiding place to hiding place across Morheim, slaying our brothers and sisters as they went. Lord Zekel finally confronted Deltrus and tried to arrange peace, but the haughty Ilios regarded us as subhuman, and Zekel had no choice but to punish them for their murderous crimes. Asmodee was peaceful once more, but for how long? Across Pandemonium, whispers became speeches, and speeches became demands for action. Lord Asfel declared that this new challenge, like all the hardships we'd faced, would test us and make us even stronger. The call to arms went out across Asmodee. We formed a new legion and marched to the other side of the fissures, a chaotic place called the Abyss. We built a fortress there and hunted for the Ilios. And there we found our ancient enemies, the Balar. They came in waves against our Primum fortress, but we held strong. In a flash, the Ilios came to our fortress walls when we were weary from a long Balar siege. Under their leader, Lord Kleinegames, they were overwhelming. Despite our bravery, the fortress we guarded for so long was crumbling before our eyes. But even as we despaired, our leaders had one trick left. Lord Lumiel activated a great force field that pushed the Ilios traitors back into the depths of the Abyss, where they belong. The Ilios Lord Kleinegames retreated in shame, the battle cries of the Asmodean Devas echoing in his ears. Once again, the Ilios tried to take us by surprise, and once again, they'd failed. But even as we chanted thanks to the Shadem Lords for our victory, we knew that the war, the true test of strength between Asmodee and Elysia, had just begun.
Alright, so that gives you a little bit of a perspective of the Abyss and why it exists and why we're going there and the cold Asmodean perspective on the conflict with the Ilios. I haven't seen the Ilios side of things, but I'm guessing that their version of the story paints the Asmodeans in a kind of bad light. You know, we're opposite factions and all that, so you know, it's like I'm guessing that both sides kind of have a bad impression of the other one. And I'm guessing that, you know, I mean, this is all a made-up story anyway, but I'm guessing that the quote-unquote truth
Have you improved your skills?
is probably somewhere in the middle of the two perspectives and things. But alright, so I went and I talked to this person over here. This is my most recent trainer for my Technist gunslinging ways, and I'm talking to him. It's a little quest thing. It's like, oh, I can't help you anymore. You have You have
Remember
grown
when I've
beyond
taught
my
how you improved
teachings.
your skills?
You must now go to blah blah blah,
I'm always willing
and
to teach.
they can train you further. So, even though I still can't, I think I still have to wait until I'm level 26, so I can actually switch to using an Aether cannon versus dual wielding my kind of my Aether guns that I'm currently sporting. And I'm kind of interested. I've got a gun and I've got a cannon and I've got a couple of guns for level 26 that I can equip once I get there. I want to try both of them. Oh yeah, I'm just kind of looking around. I'm looking around because I'm like, that whole story of how horrible and cold and everything that was taken away from the Asmodeans, and it's so horrible and cold and everything. And you look and it's like, it's a bright, sunny, beautiful, warm-looking day. Like, you would expect it to just be dark and miserable and ice-crusted everywhere, and you don't see that.
Blood for blood.
I mean, I know that this game is developed in Korea, and so perhaps to them this looks dark and foreboding and icky and stuff. I don't know, but it doesn't look all that bad to me. So here's our newest trainer. They look a little bit, they got kind of a cowboy looking hat on, which is kind of interesting. You wouldn't expect cowboy hats in this kind of a environment, but alright, never mind. We're gunslingers, we sling those guns, so you have to wear those cowboy hats. So yeah, in here I'm just kind of setting up some things in terms of different types of, like, so you can have multiple rotations, and I figured I'd set up, because you can have a rotation, you can set up, like, you scroll through the rotation numbers and everything, and it's probably good to have one rotation that's more suited for ground hand-to-hand versus sky hand-to-hand, and this kind of thing. So I'm kind of doing some mixing and matching and things, and just so you can kind of see how I'm currently thinking about this. And this is not a final rotation just yet. I've got to kind of play with it, especially once I get out to the Abyss and kind of figure out exactly how I want to handle doing the fighting and everything. And from my recollection, the initial stages of going through the Abyss is all PvE, person versus environment, and just kind of going through quests and taking out NPCs and things. So yeah, I don't think that there will be a lot of actual fighting against Ilios players initially. At least there wasn't when I was leveling my gladiator. I never actually came across an Ilios in the Abyss, and I got up to level 30, which is nowhere near the high point. So we'll see how far we get with this character. Okay, so this is the arena, and I'm supposed to be here, and it's a way for me to battle against other Asmodean players, as a way of practicing my hand-to-hand combat against, kind of in a PvP environment, but there's never anyone there. And I'm not a member of a, I think they call them leagues in Aion. I want to call it a guild because that's what I'm used to in WoW, but and I don't, I'm not a member of a league, and it's hard for a casual player like myself to get into one. I'm very lucky to have a very casual guild that I'm a member of in World of Warcraft, but here, I really haven't established the level of connections that I did in World of Warcraft, and mainly because it was the guild that my husband had been in when I first met him, and they have a core group of people who run raids and dungeons and things together. But then there's a whole bunch of the rest of us, and it's pretty much, it's an adult-only guild in terms of we don't let kids in into the guild. I think everyone's like age 20 and older and stuff. And there's a whole bunch of us who are older, and you know, we all have careers and spouses, and you know, some people have kids and that kind of thing. So not everyone has the time to put in towards raiding and that kind of thing. There's like I said, there's a core group that does, and they enjoy it and that kind of thing. But the rest of us are like, you know, we play quests, we do the quests and that kind of thing, and every now and again we'll jump in and help out in a portion of a raid here or a portion of a dungeon there, that kind of thing. And that's about it. I don't have that network established. Alright, so this part here, I actually have to take a test. I actually have to answer questions about the history of the Ilios, Asmodean, and the Abyss. And so you can, if you're really interested in these questions at all, you can pause and read the questions and see how I'm answering and that kind of thing. And I will admit that I cheated on these. I looked them up ahead of time so that I could answer them. So anyway, but yes, you have to take an exam in order to get to the Abyss. But being a Deva alone is not enough. No, you have to take a test. It's like, okay, fine. And there's 3 people that you have to take this test from. So I'm just kind of going through these fairly quickly, and then I've got like one other person I got to talk to, and then after that, I think there's someone I talk to that takes me to the Abyss or something. But I don't include that footage in this episode because this episode's you know at 17 some minutes. It's long enough as it is. So that being said, so here we go. Here's our final person to talk to, and then we're just gonna wrap it up. So thank you so much for watching. If you continue to enjoy these, please give my videos a thumbs up. Please share. I really appreciate the shares. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and look forward to more gaming videos from me in the future, including Aion, WoW, and Sims 4 and other things. So until next time, I wish you all a good day and take care. Bye-bye.